Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to Lux Anguis. And today we have a special day. I'm very excited about sharing this news with you all, and that I finally can launch my new product, or in essence, my new Grimoire that I want to share with the whole collective right now on the witch talk and just generally the out and open. And hello, my wife. I love you too very fucking much. Hell yeah. And yeah, let's begin there. So today is a very special day. I am very excited and I am very, very full of energy to actually just share this work right now out in the open. And all of these walkings in this Grimoire has been tried and tested by me for a very long time. And they have brought me very deep transformative results, self-empowerment, certifications, shadow healing, shadow integrations, and just in generally a deep expansion of my own consciousness and awareness in the Luciferian current or Luciferic rite. Thank you. No, yeah. Thank you very much that you share the same sentiment that my work has helped a lot in your own magical and spiritual journey of life. So I appreciate and venerate your opinion on this, my beloved. So yeah. And what else can I say to that? It is a very deeply thought through and charged working that I've been refining over the years, and now I feel like it's the time to share it to the public. It is in essence in dedication to actually Lord Lucifer. Like, all of this work has been created in his name and basically to illuminate one's own potential, one's own magical left and path journey. And let me say this, oh boy, once you start walking through these steps that I represent you in this ebook, it's like there's no going back after that. It's like we must also think through too, if that's something really for you, because this working has been deeply consecrated by the forces of Lucifer. So if you are buying this ebook from me and this and that, you invite the forces and occurrence of Lucifer in your own internal and external life. And oh yeah, oh hello Elizabeth B. How you can buy my ebook? Well, my ebook will be released preferably next week on Sunday. Today is like my revelation, what this book is about. It's like, it's called Illuminatus Infernum, the illuminated infernal, or like the infernal illumination. It's basically your own Luciferian dark side or light within your own self is getting illuminated. It will be able to be purchased on my Patreon as well as on the very funny sounding website Lemon Squeezy. I just love the name, honestly, Lemon Squeezy. I just I just had to take this website because it sounds so funny. Lemon Squeezy, man. But yeah, yes, on these two apps or these two websites, you will be able to buy my Grimoire Lemon Squeezy and on Patreon for actually $6.66. So it's very purchasable. It's actually, it's in dedication to Lucifer. If you are gonna buy it, you're actually honoring through this action Lucifer in essence and the Lucifer principle in your own self. Like, that's the reason why I'm making it public, that people basically become the next light bearer for these current generations and the generations to come. It's a whole for me personally, a spiritual pilgrimage or a spiritual dedication I make for the left-hand path, for Lucifer, for the occult community, for, basically the whole evolutionary process of humanity becoming godlike, or achieving one's own most deepest potential, that you have going your own path. That's why I designed these rites. That's why I published these rites. It's not really, they make the big bucks out of it. I feel like in some way it's just my personal reference through this journey that I've shared with Lord Lucifer over the years that I have worked with him and I have gotten to know him. So yeah, that's in essence about and what this ebook or this e-grimoire will do for you. It's in essence, it has, if I'm not mistaken, like eight rituals or 8 different processes to it. At the beginning, you are kind of confronting your own shadow, like you are confronting the Luciferian shadow within your own self. Like, things that you were unconscious about or like that were hindering your own gnosis, your own process of self-deification and getting to know your own path. Oh yeah, no, I can tell you one of the favorite rituals on this Grimoire. One of them is like after walking through the shadow of Lucifer within your own self, you work with Lucifer's Crimson Reaper aspect. Lucifer has like a hidden aspect to himself that I like to call the Crimson Reaper. It's like almost like a necromantic aspect to him that he has shown or manifested in my life. He looked like almost like, these typical mythical figures of death, the scythe bearer, and he's like a psychopomp who leads souls into the afterlife or your ancestors into a higher afterlife, so to say. So like one of my favorite rituals actually is walking with Lucifer's Crimson Reaper aspect to basically empower and deify your own ancestors. When you are connecting to him and through this way, you actually lead your own ancestors. So that means your own bloodline in a more Luciferian path, or like in a more, so to say, personal enlightenment, self-deification. So literally, through your own ancestors, if you walk with your own ancestors, you're also walking with your own self, because your ancestors unwittingly are a part of your own self. So if you are empowering your ancestors, you are empowering your own self, in essence. That's like one of my favorite rituals on Lucifer's e-grimoires. The other favorite rituals I have is Lucifer's vampiric aspect. I very love to perform that because it literally every time I perform it, it just expands my own awareness on a very, very deep way and scale. And at the same time, I become more perceptive to all kinds of different higher energies that you can, as a psychic vampire, or you can, as a more darker being, tap into and like basically absorb into your own self. It's almost like your own mind and your own soul in some way gets like transmogrified to be able to, in a sense, absorb much more easier spiritual components that you are calling forth in your own rituals and rites. If, for example, you call forth many spirits in your ritual that, for example, are dedicated or like are designed to basically empower your own psychic abilities or your own magic, you will not only have an easier time to absorb the magical properties, you will also have an easier time to actually absorb the energies of the deities or the spirits you are also calling forth. And knowing that begets within yourself a much more deeper and profounder self-transformation if you're more able to be susceptible to higher energies of your deities you're calling forth. So that's like a vampiric ritual I've designed with Lucifer, and you can basically tap into Lucifer's more vampiric aspect of himself. And that's also one of my favorite rituals, and one of the higher rituals I also have done this Grimoire. Like I make a sneak peek out of it, so you will be able to see it on my page. And like they basically things that you will get, that you will get access to when you are purchasing my Grimoire. It's like one of the last rituals, and it's about getting initiated into Lucifer's more draconian stellar aspect. Lucifer can also be viewed as a star, or like as a constellation in our universe, as like a astrological alignment as well. And through this ritual, you're actually aligning your subtle body, your energy body, chakras, or what have not within your own self, through the stellar current of Lucifer. You are completely aligning your whole energy system. Basically, also we could say your own zodiac sign alignments, or to the currents or the constellations of Lucifer in the higher realms within your own self. That's one of the last rituals, and it's very intense actually. Like once you absorb these energies, you are inviting these stellar forces within your own self, within your own life, and you must be ready to be able to ground it within your own self, so to say. And that's not easy work, but the benefits and the evolutions you are realizing through that are quite worth it. And that's like 3 of the 8 main rituals that I am mainly focused upon. And of course, the last one I like the most, or like one of the very interesting one, is like connecting with Lucifer's darkness. And now, of course, it's very paradox. Does Lucifer actually mean the light bearer, the light bringer? Yes. Lucifer has a very, almost like a paradox aspect to himself. He embodies darkness at the same time light. And you know what does this combination actually makes? It makes the black light, the illuminated darkness. So what is happening in this process of connecting to Lucifer's darkness, your own self-awareness, your own light, basically becomes one with darkness. And this darkness becomes illuminated through your own awareness. Thus, it begets a black light. And this black light, or cultivated and broadened within your own self, can help you achieve and attain much, much more higher and better Klepothic or Chthonian or underworld gnosis on their own journey. It's like what I have felt walking through this ritual a long time. Like it just helped me to attune better through Klepothic and through underworld planes, and basically being able to better channel these informations and these guidances better of my own self. That's what this ritual actually helped me very deeply with. So all in all, it's a very feasible, very powerful, important Grimoire that I feel finally ready to publish and give everybody the fair chance and access to get their hands upon. I feel very honored. I feel, like very happy and excited that finally, yes, that finally I can publish it for you all, ladies and gentlemen. And okay, thank you, my wife, that you're letting me know that in 5 minutes you go off. I love you too, my wifey. Big beautiful kisses. And we will talk soon. Okay, my wifey? Yes. I love you too. So, yeah. So, yeah, if you have any other questions you want to know about Lucifer and Lucifer's rituals, and why you may find it interesting or important to include Lucifer in your own path, in your own right, you may ask me now some certain questions that piques your interest in regards to my Grimoire of Illuminatus Infernum, walking with the current of Lucifer, and thus realizing your own more darker potential into actualized power, wisdom, knowledge, insight, and apotheosis. So, any questions right now? It's the best time. Other than that, I feel like I will continue. Would this be great for people on all levels? It's not completely for total beginners, actually. Not completely. You must have basic knowledge of like how to activate a sigil, how to like having some candles, having a knife, having like, I will get to your question soon. Um, you know, like you do, it's not completely for beginners, but you have to have some basics down. But of course, like I will instruct people in like having some basic stuff down before you walk into any of these rituals and rites. But it's not completely sort of for everyone because it does invoke intense energies into your own life. It's a very highly transformative journey you are allowing to enter in your life. Like it's not totally for beginners, I must say. It's more for intermediate to advanced and basically maybe neophytes who have some basics down. But Maif, have I ever worked with Loas? Yes, actually, I did work with Loas. It was mainly I worked with Papa Legba actually for a certain period of my time and a certain period of my life. I worked for some time with Papa Legba because for whatever reasons back then, like for high reasons, he came into my life out of his own free will. Like I just felt his presence in some way because I got so many crazy synchronicities, so to say. Where, for example, I just saw often depicted in certain cars and certain commercials on the city, like the king of the road, like repeatedly. And so then I remembered, I was reading some content about voodoo and hoodoo, and Papa Legba was associated with, king of the roads, the road opener, the one who, is like the messenger between the gods and to this realm, so to say. And I worked for a certain period of time with Papa Legba to basically open up my own spiritual blockages and roads to my own self-development and my own self mastery and evolution. So yes, I worked with Papa Legba. So wow, amazing. Yes, I find Papa Legba very amazing too. Like he can help you immensely opening up some roadblocks in your own spiritual development and evolution, so to say. And of course, I'm my own ethnicity. For recent I made like a DNA test, and I don't know if I have some African ethnicity, but like so like you know, it's of course voodoo and hoodoo is like for everybody and this and that. But for me personally, I would not you know mess all too much of our traditions if I personally don't have like any green light or omens and signs that I should. So you know what I mean. You should always listen their own guidance if walking with these deities, walking these different pantheons is actually right for you. Then of course, voodoo and hoodoo, all this knowledge that you have out there is applicable for everybody. Everybody can practice this. But for me personally, I do want to have from my own inner guidance, from my own soul family, the green light. Okay, that's like in alignment to me, so to say. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to practice pantheons and practice different magical schools when my own soul family, my own inner guidance, intuition says to me, okay, actually that's not completely in my own alignment, no, in my own best benefit, so to say. But in my case, it was. You should always at the end of the day listen to your own guidance, listen to your own intuition instead of like just hard code dogma, like thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. You should actually listen what fears and what you know through different signs that actually that is right for you. So yeah, Papa Legba, it's like very nice to walk with him in regards to like unblocking your own spiritual evolution and path that you're going down. So yeah, for these reasons I would work with Papa Legba. But like with other wishes, I did not work yet completely, you know. But yeah, other than that, I I will refocus myself on Lucifer. If you have any other questions, I would love to know. But thank you for asking these questions. I feel it's very interesting, to be able to discuss different currents on their own path and journey. And it's like sometimes it's crazy how. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Did you actually ever work with Lucifer though? Like, right now I making this whole life about Lucifer and my first Grimoire about Lucifer and basically my own personal working that I publish. That any person who is interested in self-development, self-mastery can achieve Luciferian self-realization and empowerment, so to say. So yeah. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. And yeah, other than that, I will refocus myself. And then if there are no other questions anymore, I will refocus myself on Lucifer, why I find important to work with the forces of Lucifer. Well, besides expanding your own knowledge and awareness and your own potential as an occultist, work with Marquis Machosias, never really with Lucifer. Well, maybe it's time. Who knows? No, maybe that's your sign to work with Lucifer right now, talking to me and seeing his life. But Machos is also very amazing, though. Like Machos is like a better, if I'm not mistaken. Like she's a very powerful warrior. Like she's a very like warfare. Like that's just how I got to know her. Like she's very like warfare driven demon. She can help you with like warrior mentalities, with fight, with you know basically being more in your own power, with physical vitality, with what else can Machos help you? Being proficient in astral attack or astral defense. Empowering your own body of flesh with Machosias. Like she's very helpful in this regard. Machos is a very very powerful demoness in regards to martial things, so to say. But I'm sure that there's many other aspects of demons as well that we have yet to discover. But yeah, with Lucifer, I would work with Lucifer in these regards because at some point, if you're taking your own left and path journey very seriously, which I think, you are watching this live with me, it's like at some point you will undergo some deep initiations on your own path that I like to call the klipot, or that I like to call to underworld planes. These are like demonic underworld planes and or the shadow of the whole humans collective, so to say. And he is like one of the main creators of the klipot, besides Samael, besides Lilith, besides Satanas. Like he is one of the main creators of the klipot. And people say also Lucifer is like the higher aspect of Satanas. I think it's from Fraternitas Saturni. It's like a satanic or Modarca organization from Germany. They say in their doctrine, which I can see in some way, that the higher octave of Saturn is Lucifer and the lower octave of Saturn is Satanus. Satan, the adversary in this sense, in which I can see, Lucifer has a very challenging and a very like adversarial standpoint in one's own awareness, that you do not subscribe to mundane living, to mundane mentalities, the NPC mentality, non-playable character mentality. Lucifer is almost like Morpheus in the Matrix movies. He's like, if you're walking with him, it's like if you're taking the red pill or the blue pill. You decide where your own awareness, where your consciousness, where your own creative will go to. And one of part of it, what I feel is like the klipot, is the underworld initiation. Work with him will allow you to basically unleash the hidden shadow potential into actualized awareness, power, abilities of cult and darker sorts, And that's why I fear for any serious practitioners at some point in their path, they should work with Lucifer for extended period of time, because it transforms your own awareness to be like very independent, to be like very self-driven in a way of apotheosis. What does that actually means? That means, basically in this mass indoctrination, for example, from Christianity, Islam, or Judaism somewhere, always worshipping a creator God, always worshipping things outside of your own self, always like externalizing your own divine power into something else. Walking with Lucifer will do the reverse thing. Like you will actually recognize Lucifer within. You will actually recognize this illuminating power within. Instead of like worshipping a Jesus Christ figure or like Jehovah or any of these other positive polarized beings outside of your own self. But at the end of the day, they are also a part of you. That's the thing. Lucifer is also a part of you. But how you express this divine will, your own creation or a force, is differently polarized. Instead of expressing it outside of your own self, being used almost like as a battery for normal society and NPC living and for other gods, you become a god. You become a self-actualized god in a sense. And Lucifer will show you the way to it. And that's the thing. But it's not, at the same time, it's very liberating. It's very transformative. And it ultimately leads you to independence, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Ultimately, it's also associated with a lot of like breaking off of certain things that has holded you back on this path. Joining Lucifer forces basically means you are actually saying completely yes to your own self, to your own life. Walking with Lucifer's forces demands from you self-dedication. It means ruthless self-deification, dedication, warrior spirit, impeccability, ruthlessness. You like, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna sell my soul and now I'm going to be ultra rich. I mean, you're going to be rich. Don't get me wrong. That is possible. You can achieve that through Lucifer for real. But it does not, if you're doing that by selling your soul, you have failed it. Because then you are like any other Christian or any other religion out there. That's not the left-hand path. The left-hand path is not selling your soul. It's actualizing your soul power. It's becoming God-like on your soul level. You're not dissolving your own soul into another higher being. You are the higher being. And that is the ultimate power, position, and awareness to be in. And Lucifer demands from you walking with him ultimate self-dedication, self-reliance, because you are the ultimate person, being, entity who is responsible for everything that is going to happen in your life on a journey, on a path. Not going to sugarcoat it, and if you say, all right, I want to go a different path than most people are going to this society, even though there's these movements out there, the red pill, the blue pill, breaking out of the matrix, masculinity, this, masculinity, that, feminism, like all of that are distractions. They're just saying what are for them defined as success. You must define for your own self what is for your own self authentically your success, what's alignment to you, what is within you. That's the thing. You must pull down the masks that the society, that religions, that or the other paths are like spitting and projecting upon you. You lose your own self. But walking with Lucifer is like you put down the masks that like hinders and blocks your own authentic light, your own authentic Lucifer, and you are forced to become your own authentic self and take full ownership and responsibility for it. No boss, no priest, no religious leader, no motivational coach, no path X, Y, and Y. We're gonna tell you who you are. Let it sit. Let it sit. Feel it. And that's the point of Lucifer. And of course, it sounds very empowering. It sounds like, now I'm waking up for the matrix. But, I'm just gonna be completely frank and open and honest about it. It does come with a lot of sacrifices you have to do. It's nothing comes from nothing. So my own experiences, what I had to sacrifice to come to the point where I'm coming right now, Oh yeah, Maeve. Thank you. I have respect for people too who are on it for like, I'm almost like 12 years now on this path, 12 years. So it has been a long time I'm on this path actually. And, there are certain points where I feel like, you lose your own shit. But, I've been impeccable and ruthless and self-sufficient enough to pull through these dark moments that this path has for you. Again, like this path entails a lot of sacrifices, a lot of challenging things that's going to happen to you in order to be transformed. If you want to think differently than anybody else, if you want to embody your own divine authority, your own divine power, your own divine, potential, you must think differently. You must act differently. You must go a different path than the rest of your family, peers, society is going. And for that to realize, you have been conditioned. You have been conditioned from small on, from a kid on, to think a certain way, to understand certain things, to function in an already existent system. If it's right or not, you must decide for your own self. I'm not going to tell you it's bad, it's good, it is what it is. But in order to realize your own potential, you must create it for your own self. You must create this path for your own self. And Lucifer will do that with you. He will do it with you. That's the whole point. He will show you what you must do, what you must sacrifice, what you must let go in order to pursue your own path in life that brings you on liberation, that brings you on your authority and power, that brings you basically your desires into realization. Oh yeah, thank you. Hello Mountain Gilio Jess. Welcome on this live. And it's all about Lucifer and my Grimoire that I'm going to release potentially next week on Sunday. And it's about Infernus Illuminatus, or Illuminatus Infernus, the illuminated Infernal, so to say. But yeah, Lucifer is going to help you think differently, have a completely your own awareness. It's the almost like you, how to say that? It's like the inverse. In some way, it's like almost like the inverse of Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is like you join with Source, you join with the higher God, you join with the Creator within your own self-being and become one. But Lucifer is like you recognize this power within your own self. You know what this power within your own self is, and you become Source, you become a God your own self. You illuminate people, you share your own divine principle on the light to the collective. You are the Source. You're not Christ, you are Lucifer, you are the Source. You're not dependent upon a higher force to give you the light. You are the light. You are the light bringer. Lucifer means literally in Latin, light bearer or light bringer. And for that to happen, you must have light within your own self. You must realize the light within your own self. And that's Lucifer all about. But yeah, not gonna lie, it does require sacrifices. And one of them is your own, I know it sounds cheesy as fuck, but it's your own ego. Ego is not bad. Ego and self-awareness is not bad. Egos are too like anything else, but there are certain egos that people in society and religion and such has created around you and for you. These are false egos. These are egos that are artificial to your own authentic will. There are certain egos within your own self that you need to basically authentic your own true will, your own true path in your life. That is the egos you want to have in your life. Other egos, forget about them. They're gonna mislead you. I missed most of it. I couldn't remember what time you start. Yeah, today, like many things happened. Today I have visited my family home. It took me longer than expected. So it happened with 10 minutes something. I came a little bit later. I apologize. Please forgive me. But yeah, no, thank you. I'm happy that you are here. That's all that matters. Yes, it's all good. Perfect. So yeah, it requires from you letting go of the false egos. Oh yeah, no love to Lucifer, Ave Lucifer. Letting go of false egos that are misalignment to your own path, that basically leads you in a circle in your own personal life. That's what Lucifer requires from you, is to sacrifice your false ego to him, so that your true self, your true ego, like the ego of yourself that helps you actually achieve your path, achieve your own life, achieve your own goals, can emerge. The second thing that Lucifer requires from you to be sacrificed is complacency, is like excuses, so to say. Like going in, of course, many people say he's a beginner friendly deity. That's semi right. That's semi right. I mean, he's very understanding for beginners, like people who like beginning on his path. But honestly, it's a hit or miss sometimes with Lucifer, because for example, if Lucifer did not came to you on its own, like that he gave you, conscious guidance that he wants to work with you, that's a little bit more easier, and like it's a little bit more in alignment to you than walking with him out of your own self-interest, which is not wrong either. The point is, Lucifer brings such a strong expansion of own awareness that sometimes beginners just simply cannot handle it, and that can backfire. Not in a good way, but that's why it's important to have your foundations straight all together on this left and path journey. Walking with deities alone is not enough. You must have a meditation routine, you must live a more healthy lifestyle, you must do yoga, some body exercises, you must have psychological hygiene. You must have something going on walking with these darker deities, because if you're not doing that, your own awareness that's going to expand it by Lucifer, for example, it feels very unearthed, because Lucifer is also known to be the prince of the air, the lord of the air element, thinking, awareness, communication, the astral realm. Walking with him unwittingly will expand this aspect of your own self, of your own thinking, your own astral realm. And one of the highest magic is happening on the thinking and astral realm planes. And some people are just not prepared enough or not stable enough to handle this expansion of one's own self. That's why I say Lucifer can be a beginner-friendly deity if he is like approaching you, and if you like slide, like walk with him very easily for some simple spells, and then later on expand it. But other than that, Lucifer can be very challenging. Hagenti, and this was mind-blowing. Yeah, exactly. Many people underestimate too much what these more darker forces and what these questioning demons can do for your own life, can realize with your own life. Sometimes you think, oh well, I can handle it, but like 1 week later you're just a completely different person with completely different situations. Your mind is blown, your ego is shattered, your energy is expanded, and maybe even sometimes BS happens to challenge you, and when you go through it, like, wow, it's just fucking mind-blowing. Like, I get what you mean with that. Like, these questioning demons have something very challenging and very deeply transformative about them, and so is with Lucifer. But yeah, Lucifer will ask from you to let go of excuses, will ask of you to let go of complacency all too much. What he will want from you is that you actually put in daily the work within your own self, that you actually honor his presence within your own self. Like, Lucifer is like a very high being. He does not tolerate, like, I've experienced it with my own self. Like, I made a huge dedication to Lucifer at some point in my own life, and there's a period in my own life where I felt like very depressed, like very just, I don't know, like I've gone through so much alchemize and transformation and ego deaths. Like, I was like very, very fucking low for a very long time. But because of that, I allowed myself to become more complacent, allowed myself to like letting myself go in my own bad habits. I allowed myself to become dependent upon addictions too much. to process certain things in my own life. And what Lucifer did, at some point he was like, okay, man, like you can do better. You can do better, like get your ass up. And I just ignored it. I just fucking ignored it. I'm like, okay, whatever. It was my own fault because I just, in some way, I kind of disrespected my own path and my own oath I did. What he did to me is like, he's fucking scratched my face, these demons can get challenging. And when I knew that this was happening to me, it just clicked to me, like when things like that happens to you, it's not like, these demons and these darker beings, they are not playthings. They are not for children. They are not, oh, he's so lovely, he is my best friend. They can be, but are they? Sometimes you just project your own humanity too much onto them. They are not entirely humanistic. I mean, they understand humans better than angels because the demons are more earthly than angels, and also they kind of can have empathy to some degree to to humanistic struggles, so to say. But just let me tell you, sometimes, if you're becoming complacent and just disrespect your own path and disrespect the deities you work with, it can have consequences if you're not taking them and it seriously. When he scratched, for example, my face, like it was not, how to say that, it was not something like very hurtful or like something very like shocking, but like I just knew, it was him. I knew it was him. Okay, I knew from where this was coming. You will know what I'm talking about. If this were ever happened to you, in one way or another, you will just know deep within your own self. Like, there's no question. You will no doubt. You will have no doubt in your mind from where this came from when this is happening to you. That's the thing. They will know it was them. And I knew it was him because I knew that I kind of ignored too much and I behaved in a very disrespectful manner to my own self and to him. And so he scratched me there. And it was like almost like a warning sign, like, get your shit together, so to say. And I was like, okay, you're right. Thank you for reminding me that. You're right. No, I've been out of line. Sometimes these beings can do that to you. I mean, I deserved it. Like, I know I fucked up, and that's the thing. They will also make you accountable for your own mistakes too. This path is not for the weak. You cannot, point these things you are failing on something else and somebody other. You are responsible to your own shortcomings and mistakes. And these beings will literally force you to realize that. It's the ultimate path of self-reliance. You cannot blame God. You cannot blame a society. You cannot blame the president and politics for your own shortcomings. It requires to look inward. It requires that yourself have enough power within your own self, in your own life, that actually doesn't matter what president and what religion and whatever outside of you does affects you anymore. It's a path of self-deification. It's not a fluffy-dovey or lovey-dovey path. That's sometimes, I think that's a beginner mistakes people make it to be. But I feel like these people are just kind of scratching the surface of what these beings can bring into your life and what paths they can bring into your life. They are just doing it too humanistically. And I think it's not wrong either. Why I say this? It's energy. It's energy. It's attention. It's currency. The more people work with these beings, the more people are connecting with these beings, the more energy, the more currency, and the more power they have on this earth. So that's why they are in some way okay with being approached in this way. It's power, it's currency. If they help you evolve, they evolve themselves. If they help you getting in power, they get in power themselves, because you are their beacon of light. You almost like are their representative on this earth plane. Why do you think gods or the spirits and these deities want to work with us? Why do you think they approach us? Because we embody something. We have something very special about us as humans that the spirits and these deities and wants from us to interact with us. So like it's almost like they get something from us interacting with them and we from them. It's like a symbiosis you do with these beings. So yeah, it's an equal exchange, and it just depends how powerful and how elevated it is. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. We have the physical vessel, the living pentagram or portal. Yes, the pentagram. It's very interesting though. Like I have a book right now below my phone stands where on it is the pentagram of the practice of the white and black magic by Dad Morrison. It's one of the first occult books I ever have bought in my life. Yes, the pentagram: earth, water, air, earth, water, air, fire, and then the ether, the human body, soul, spirit, and body, flesh, with all the combined elements. Yes, these spirits most likely embody just the ether and air and no spirit. They're missing some elements, and some spirits are evolved enough to not be dependent upon that, but there are certain components in our right now manifestation that spirits and beings do want to get access to us, through us, and that helps them in some way to evolve and develop themselves. So keep that in mind, you're not some lowly worm below the gods, like, oh gods, I prostrate before you, like, so many right hand path magicians do, like so many religions do. Islam, I think, is one of the main religions who does it perfectly. They prostrate themselves to a higher power, which is okay. It has its own spiritual components and evolutions, but like it's not for me, because I know that we have something even in our human vessel, something very special, very, very powerful, that these beings and these gods want from us. So in some way, we can say we are equal to them in some way. They want something from us in some way. Like, why do you think the Bible and all of these beings now want love from us? Love, 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 all the time. Love God, love this and that, love this archontic being, Yalda Beot or Allah, and this. Like, they always want your love. Love is one of the highest frequencies you can emit and one of the highest energies you can emit. Like, if they are so self-sufficient, if they are so in their own self-power, like, why do they demand from you love so much and worship and prostration? True gods don't need that. They are self-sufficient. They are not dependent upon a mass collective of people who worship them. Just some question to ask. In the early Christianity, which is called gnosticism, the creator god is called Yalda Beot. The selfish idiot god, or the blind god. Who like doesn't know that there are other gods, and demands thus from his creation that they are worshiping him. It's just only him and no other god. It's yeah, like I just don't need it in my own personal life, and that's why Lucifer is here. That's why Lucifer is here, and he says, stop that bullshit, go your own path, be self-reliant, be your own god, and live a fulfilling life, instead of endlessly feeling like, you have to feel sorry, you have to feel, how to say that, almost like sorry that you are living. It's almost like, you kind of stop apologizing for every BS. This God from these religions, these Abrahamic religions, like this God wants you to live in perpetual misery, almost like that you should feel sorry to even be alive, because you live in sin. You just literally, by you just being born is a sin. You must feel guilty, and now you must prostrate before this narcissistic God to basically make up for something that you don't even are responsible for, that some God like makes it up, in its own head. In actuality, Lucifer, who was a serpent in this Garden of Eden, actually was a liberator, who brought you knowledge that actually this God, whatever Yaldabaoth was, is saying like, yo, man, this God is kind of fucking you over. Like, you have the same potential as God within your own self. He says you got to have the knowledge of good and evil, light and dark, positive and negative. So Lucifer actually liberated Adam and Eve, liberated the first humans from the shackles of being forever a slave to a God. And the Bible is just like a, how to say that? It's just, the Bible is not even original. The Bible is like a copied version, and thank you for the love very much. The Bible is a copied version of Mesopotamian, Babylonian, and like Egyptian lore. The lore of Genesis, so to say. Like Lucifer, actuality was a liberator for humanity from the beginning. He was a Prometheus. He was the one who brought flame, forbidden knowledge, freedom to humanity, to free themselves from the tyranny of gods, from the tyranny of outside forces or higher beings who kind of farm us in some way. So that's why I very proudly announce, I will release, yes, Lightbringer knowledge of good and evil. And good and evil, think about it. Good and evil are just a kindergarten terms for the polarity of the negative and or positive light, for creation and or destruction, and the middle sustenance, like nothing, yes, yin and yang, nothing else, That's about good and evil about. It's not really a moral or ethic thing, basically, yes, crowd vibration, day and night, life and death, breathing in, breathing out, water, fire, earth, wind, light and dark, positive and negative. Basically, that's actually what good and evil should embody. And Lucifer is one of the perfect entities or beings you want to work with, embodying these dynamics within your own self. Like, just think about it. A battery cannot produce light in a lamp if it does not have a minus and a plus pole. So you have to have plus and minus to create energy, to create dynamic, to create power. Just think about it. And now Lucifer was like, okay, no, man. Like, this God just kind of uses you in Garden Eden to be like completely naive of your own power, of your own potential, of your own soul energy. And he just selfishly just kind of takes it for himself, like a how to say that, a cannibalistic creator God in some way, And Lucifer was like, okay, no, man, like, look at you, like you have a self, you have your own soul. Yes, we are electrical, organic, spiritual robots, lol. Because I think from that comes actually the term NPC. If I think about it, non-playable character, we are robotic. We are like organic robotic in some way. I mean, one of like a Swiss artist, which is called H.R. Geiger or Giger, like this man depicts perfectly this kind of obscene human state we are in, the biomechanical state, or the state where people, going towards, being NPCs, being like merged with machine and the flesh. Yes, that's, yeah, and this God in the Garden of Eden did not stop. He still exists. This egregore, this being still exists. Why do you think these Abrahamic religions exist? Why do you think people to this day, even though they have this divine spark within them, are still asleep, are just living their life how they live, and just evolve very slowly? Because these gods still, have this Garden of Eden, or have this Garden of Edom still present in this today time, to steal farm from you, to just pay into the system, pay taxes, pay energy, go into work, be dependent, be, everything chosen for you, but not for your own self. The system still exists. And why do you think so many religions, especially the Abrahamic one, like are detesting so much black magic, are detesting so much the demonic? Because they do not want you to wake up. They do not want you to actually become independent and think for your own self and just bring out of this weird ass matrix that they have decided for you to live in. You know what I mean? That's why this religion, this God still exists. He still wants you to worship him instead of you your own self, recognizing your own self. Actually actualizing that this God that demands from you worship and prostration also exists within your own self. Like there is no separation in these regards. And that's why Lucifer walks with these principles of light and darkness, good and evil. He shows you the way to that, so that you're not dependable upon any other higher will outside of yourself, and also some higher being taking advantage of your own ignorance. And that's so wonderful, and I feel that's very, like, just outside looking in from a humanistic perspective, like that's very, very humanistic actually. That's like very, that is actually love, in some way. Like I can see that's a higher love that this entity called Lucifer had for us humans. That we were actually slaves, but he gave us forbidden knowledge. He gave us a different pathway to actualize our own selves. That's like very humanitarian. It comes a very deep place of love, what I fear from Lucifer. And that's why I find it like very unfair, like how he's been treated so much by this Abrahamic religion. Like he's the devil, he's a deceiver, he's this and that. Actually, no. If you read the Bible, especially the Old Testament, like how fucking much does this so-called benevolent God demands from you animal sacrifices, killing all of the pagans, having mass genocides? Like that's just fucking crazy. An endeavor, or Lucifer in this case, in his Bible, like they did not do much, but actually try to deceive Jesus in his 40 days trial to basically prostrate before him. Yes. Yeah, exactly. He was willing to sacrifice his positive polarity, his service to God, as to source, to service himself, to service humanity, and potentially lose the alignment to the positive polarity or to source through this act. Yeah, that's what he done, and that's a very deep act of love, which is very commendable from him. But just think about it. The Old Testament God kills so many people, and demands so many human sacrifice, and he's all benevolent and all loving. And then Jesus comes by, yes, to a part of magnetic, yeah, and like he tempts Jesus, when Jesus worships Lucifer or the devil, that he's gaining all the riches of the world and be powerful. Honestly, I feel Jesus actually did that for real. Like, just look at today's time. Like, Christianity was for a very, very long time, even for eon, the most worldwide renowned religion. His image is being plastered out there for generations, for thousands of years now. Like, don't you think actually Jesus did that? I think, like, I actually feel like Jesus in his 40-day trials in the desert actually proceeded before the devil, because just look at today's time. He is one of the most renowned, worshipped, beloved, and popular God out there. He's worldwide. Jesus is literally nearly every country, and literally he literally got that what the devil in the Bible literally demanded from him. That when he's worshiping the devil, when he is prostrating himself before the devil, that he will gain all the riches or the power of the world. And look into this time, the Vatican, one of the highest Jesuits societies, and this and that, like, and even by black magicians, he's been recognized as a very highly advanced black magician. He's a necromancer. He did many miracles that a magician does. So, like, for me personally, just saying, I feel like he did the deed. I feel like he did the pact. I feel like he did something with Lucifer, because I mean he has been for very, 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 very long time. in modern time area, being worshipped and being present in every county. Even temples has been built for him, even though, and of course, he himself didn't want it to. But actuality, I kind of don't buy this story. I don't buy this story. Have you ever worked with King Belial? Oh yes, I'm currently still working with him. He is a wonderful, very wonderful, powerful, demonic being. You want to work with Belial. Like, I love Belial. Ave Belial. Oh yeah, no, I work every day with Belial, for real though. He's a very wonderful entity to work with to get literally your life straight, because he's like a very, how to say that, Belial's energy feels for me like a commander. He feels like, get your, it's like, especially if you are a man and interacting with him, he's like, get your bitch ass together. Like, it's like, if you no, I love his energy. He's like very earthy. He's like very on the ground, very earthy, very, very pragmatic. He's like a commander in some sense, a general. He's gonna put you to a thrill of like self-development and self-mastery. Like, he's like, come, go, 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 do this shit, do that shit. Don't wait around. If you are like me, like in my earlier stages of my own spiritual journey, like, I did so much meditations, and believe me or not, even I, at some point in my earlier journey of my spiritual path, I worshipped Jesus. But yeah, like, I've gotten out of it, but because I was like very polarized to just hyper focus myself on a spiritual self development and self mastery. Like, I was up there in the clouds, like, for real. I was not on the earth, like, Lux Anguis on earth, are you here? No, like, I was not on the earth. Like, I was somewhere up in the clouds, up there in some astral realms, and just my head somewhere else, my soul, my spirit somewhere else, but not in my body. Like, I was just so floaty. I don't know, like, I was like very airhead in my spiritual path. Basically, I was not on earth. I could not put my energy or my higher spiritual knowledge into practical use, so to say. Like, I was just all the time somewhere else. Like, I don't know, I became so disconnected with my own body that I just constantly was somewhere else. I was never present for almost like 5 to 6 years, but that I knew, that my earth element within my own self kind of missed. Like, I was not grounded at all within my own self. Mom up in the clouds, there's me so much, Lord, left me almost 20 years ago. Yeah, be happy, man. I'm telling you, this God is siphoning your brain muscles, your soul somewhere up there. I'm telling you. Like, he's putting you under some hypnosis. Like, your brain gets connected to some higher heavens or some higher archontic structure. So, like, you can kind of, a soul energy getting siphoned. So you're always up there in the clouds, hypnotized, never think of yourself, like, somewhere else, but never here on this earth, And that's, I think, a trick that this God does for you. Now, he hypnotizes you. He lets you in, almost like living in an illusion. So, like, yeah, I was up there in the clouds because I worshipped this God for a good portion of my spiritual journey at the beginning, So I was up there in the clouds. I was not able to manifest or put my energy on this earth. So I had to work with something very earthy in Belial. Let me tell you, it's one of the most earthiest, densest, and forthcoming demons you can ever work with. And now, if you struggle with getting your energy into practical use, mastering earth energy, mastering business, mastering money, mastering discipline, willpower, and your own masculinity, your own warrior spirit, Belial is like Del de la creme. Like, he is just perfect for that. Mastering spiritual warfare with Belial is also very powerful. Like, I love Belial's dark energies and mastering your own inner evil too, inner darker polarity. And since then, walking with Belial can help you a lot, earthing you. Like it can help you a lot getting in your own body, in your own physical vessel, so to say. Being more grounded in a more Saturnian earthly basis. Bela is also very connected to Saturn, so to say. And right now, I've getting some life ends. Oh, my life does not end. I don't want my life end. Oh god. Oh shit. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I have to do some live thing. Okay, perfect. Now, yes, I'm here. So like here. Walking with Lord Belial will help you, especially you as a man, especially you as like if you are very floaty type of person, to get your practical shit together. Like if you want to start a business, Belial's gonna help you become business sassy. If you wanna, hey, feminine divine, hello babies, love you, love you. But yes, and a walk with Lord Belial will help you being, on point, being like professional. Belial helps you to put your gas on a pedal and your speed on the ground. Like I can tell you, since walk with Belial, my life has gotten significantly better. Service, this shows some love. Oh, thank you, babies. No, I love you too very much, my babies. The feminine divine, my babies. I love you too very much. And I wish you also much success on your next service, my love. But yeah, and Belial is almost like the boss demon. Like he had us impressive when they reach out strong this year with legal stresses to keep a predator cage. Oh yeah, nice. And I mean, just so you know, the Mountain Leo just so you know, you can also call on Belial to remove like people from your life. So, oh, somebody's calling me. We'll not go to that right now. But yeah. You can work with Belial basically for legal matters too. Belial can help you also very much with legal matters. He can help you win your legal problems in your life. And also you can also call on Belial to help you remove this person, or this person is being weakened so that they're not anymore a problem in your life. So boundaries, yeah. He's gonna teach you that. Boundaries. But also you have to just to be aware now, Belial is also in some way quite an extreme demon too. He's not very patient. He's not very patient. Like he's not a beginner demon at all. Lucifer is a semi-beginner demon, like it depends, but Belial is not a beginner demon. Because he's not gonna wait around. If you call him for evolution, if you call him for earthing you, if you call him for getting your things straight, I can assure you he will do that in one way or another, very fast and very deeply. And if you like it or not, I mean, that's the thing, he does not care. King Asmodee, if he is a beginner demon, the Lord of Golachab, of Mars, of Dark Mars, of violence, war, and crime, and dark sexuality, if that's a beginner demon, you'll see. It's a good question. I find it funny. If you know Asmodeus, he is a very intense demon, or two. Like literally every demon is intense, but he is especially very challenging. Let me tell you. That was good. Okay, that was very 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 nice. I mean, okay, I'm just giving you an analogy. If you're initiating at some point in your own life, in your own journey into the clipboard, the underworld initiations, 9 times out of 10, like any serious occult practitioners, he helped me so much, but want to have your opinion on that. That's the thing. He approached me too. He approached me too, my own path and journey, when I was ready. That's the thing. When I was ready. When not ready, don't do it. you know. But that's the thing, 9 times out of 10, when you walk into the clipboard, you will reach at some point Gola Chap, and Gola Chap is like one of the fucking hardest initiations you will go through. Like it's so deep with violence, with crime, with intense sexual energies, with challenges, with fights on other level. Like I'm telling you, it's fight on fight and war and passions and dark energy drive. Like mastering that, it's anything but easy. Like walking with Asmodeus in this level, it's anything but easy. I mean, if he approaches you and if something to offer to you, I feel it's more easier. But just approaching like that, it's hard. It's hard. Why do you think, back then, in esoteric scene or like in hermetic scene, like so many people worked with so many years with angels first, or like with the Sephiroth first, before they even approach any questioning demon, because they are challenging. They are very in touch with primordial energy, primordial force, and primordial energy, primordial force is the most raw, unfiltered spiritual energies you can ever get in touch to. The Sephiroth, the tree of life, the light side, is like filtered energy. It's more easy energy, so to say, in some way. But raw primordial energy, like demonic forces, are very raw, very primal, they're very intense. So that's why, before you go into any demonic work, you should in some way have some basics in like, a regular spiritual hygiene, initiation to the Sephiroth, having, your chakras in alignment or activated, like having some light side practices on the side, so like getting things balanced. But yeah, that was a nice question. I feel like you who will wrong me and also showed me how much I love my mother. Yes, that's wonderful. That's beautiful, And I'm very happy for you that you have your own personal experiences with Asmodeus in such a positive way. He showed also up in my life out of nowhere. Like he just literally barged in, made himself present in my own self. Literally, like it was a very interesting day actually. Like one day I was at the gym. It was, I think, 2 years ago or something like that. I was at the gym, and I basically was like very deep into like body training, body development, and such, and just getting myself more into my own divine masculine in principle, so to say. And one day I invoked Hecate. I invoked Hecate in my car to basically do my daily dedications to them. And then out of nowhere, my car started to like literally like just like, I don't know, just fucking whip around. Like it was just crazy. Like my car started to whip around when I was invoking Hecate, and I asked Hecate to basically empower me, to basically, oh, welcome, Laura. Hail to you. So, and my car started to fucking whip around. I asked Hecate to like help me in my own self-development, self-mastery, and self-empowerment. What is for me the highest good, highest benefit? That Hecate guides me to something that empowers me. And when I asked that, my car started to like literally whip around, and I literally like was forced into a trance. Like I was like in some way like my eye just fucking opened up, and then I literally saw like Asmodeus sigil just burn into my brain, like just burn into my third eye, like, and then like he fucking introduced himself like that. Like it was, yes. No, it's very great to see you too, Laura, after so long time has passed. Like that was fucking crazy. Like my caster whip and my third like literally was fucking opened, and then the sigil of Asmodeus comes in there, and I just wasn't fucking connected to Asmodeus. Like that was one of my most like intense experiences like I've experienced. Like that was fucking crazy, But that's the thing, he approached me, like through Hecate. Hecate guided him to me, and that makes things much more easier in your own self-development, so to say, and that's the thing, But if you approach Asmodeus just for the sake of it, you must be aware he's gonna bring you very dark martial energies in your own life, and if you yourself did not master this aspect yet, you must expect some challenges in these regards. So like, I think if he approaches you is perfect, but I don't think he is necessarily a beginner-friendly demon. But yeah, back to Belial. Belial is a professional. He can help you very much to become professional minded, business minded, in your warrior spirit. Be like having your energy on the ground, making things practical in your own life, making things happen, mastering the earth energy. That's Belial very great for, and he's not bullshitting around. It's not the shallow side of the pool. You gotta be willing for tower card breakthroughs. Yes, and it's actually very funny though. Like, the tarot cards that you are working with, they have different correspondences on a tree of life, and on a Sephiroth, for example. And if you know the tree of life, they have like 10 spheres or like 11 spheres. The 11 spheres, the hidden spheres, the art is spread across the abyss. But like in each of these spheres, there are like 3 triangles. If you know the Kabbalah tree of life, there are 3 triangles that each Sephirah is creating. And between each sphere is like a line. It's like a line, and each line corresponds with a tarot card. And each line represents like a higher love. And the Tower card, I think, is one of the lower line. And the Tower card, it's representing the lower forms of love. Like the Tower card, the breakthrough card, is a form of divine love. That's the thing. Many people see the Tower as something very evil, something very destructive, something like, oh, the Tower. But no, it's still love, actually. It's basically tough love from the divine, so to say. And that's a very wonderful perspective to have. Instead of like, if you if you are having the tower cards, you, you have your reading and you see tower card, oh, I'm losing my shit. No, like it's basically in some way your divine guidance giving you tough love in some way. It still comes to the place of love towards your own development. Especially the left-hand path, the path of Satan, the adversary. It's tough. It's tough love. You go and do things differently than nature demands from you. And yes, destruction, rebirth cycle. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's what I find very interesting about the tower card is that it's still love, but like a lower form, a more tougher form of love in your own life that's getting invited to challenge you, to make the breakthroughs happen, so to say, in your own life. And it's still wonderful, if you learn to embrace it. And also just a side knowledge before I end this, I just find it so funny though. Like this whole life was about me just publishing my Grimoire, but now I have just completely different topic, which is still wonderful. Um, each tarot card, that you have and now corresponds to a Sephirah, corresponds to a path on the Sephirah, the tree of life, and also on a clipboard. And each card has an angel associated to them, and even demons associated to them. So just a side knowledge, you can actually initiate through tarot cards. You can actually embody tarot cards. It's still part of honorable cycle of Earth and human path. Yeah, exactly. And it's the thing, I will get your message soon enough. But like, each tarot card has a being associated to them and an archetype associated to them, and you can initiate through the tarot cards. It's a very powerful initiation process and can help you embody this divine matrix you're living in much more better. But like, yes, it is still part of the unrebirth cycle of Earth and human path. Yeah, where does it lead us? Just think about it. Like there are many paths represented to the whole of humanity. And the Sephirotic path is like the human mold, is Adam Kadmon, is the perfected man in connection to his creational force. And that's the so-called normal human evolution and development you are going through as a normal human man in human vessel, so to say. But yeah, and we basically, and on left-hand path, we represent a antinomian path, like we present transcendence of humanity. That's we represent godhood. We want to transcend humanity in some way. Still we want to embody it because we're still in this human flesh and vessel. But these are some differences basically. But like right now, if you have any other questions that you want me to answer, that's the perfect time, and I will just be there for the next 5 minutes. Because I feel like my time is reached, my social batteries are getting like, like I just feeling like already like, I want to go. But yeah, so like I'm still willing to answer some questions. So if you want to have some question answered and some things you want to know, please ask away. Thank you for your input. You are most welcome. You are most welcome. And I hope my today's... Do you have any thoughts on Pantheon that don't cooperate or overlap of those that do? That's a good question, actually. I mean, it's very difficult to answer that because, for example, it's just a rough example. I've been walking sometimes rituals where I've called upon angels and demons at the same time. So like these angelic and demonic forces can actually cooperate. Many people would think, they cannot do that. I mean, it just depends what your own results want to be. There, for example, if, for example, a demon, for example, Marbas is a demon for healing, healing your physical vessel, healing, a sickness and such. And there's this angel, Raphael, who can do the same thing. And also these forces or these paradigms can be combined in a combined rite to give like an angelic and a demonic aspect to them and make it like the yin and yang process manifested in this ritual. Like these things can actually work out, so to say. But there, for example, some closed pantheons or like some closed rituals, for example, ceremonial rituals, where you should actually not do chaos magic with. There are certain things you should actually not mix chaos magic in, or like mixing things in, because you would actually dilute the energy or the result this ceremonial practice or magic will have in store for you. So it just depends. There are some rituals you will find in old grimoires or in other pantheons which you should not mix with other beings or entities, and there are some beings you can actually mix with because it's your own approach, it's your own correspondence. And for example, also, I thought Marcus and who? Marcus. No, Marbas. Marbas. Marbas or S. Like English is not my first language. Marbas. Marbas, the Gueshic demon Marbas. He is like very prone for physical healing and physical empowerment in regards, alleviating myself from sickness. It was barba. No, I'm gonna write it down. Okay. No, it's Barbas. You wrote down. You wrote down Barbas. Actually, at the beginning, it's just M. Marbas. Marbas. It's Marbas. Like Barbas, it was right, but like instead of B, M. Marbas. That's the Gueshic demon I'm talking about. So yeah, and some... Yes, Marbas, exactly. Marbas. Yes, that's correct. Yes, how you spelled it is correct. That's the correct name of this demon. So yeah, and there are some closed pantheons or practices where you should actually just work with the demons or these entities they're in. And there are some pantheons who, for example, the Gueshi demons or the Hemafurash angels or archangels can work together, It just depends. Yeah, yeah. And of course, for me personally, I do tend to keep things energetically clean. What I mean by that is like it wouldn't let me type. I mean, it happens to the best of us. It is what it is, But yeah, it just depends what you want. And me personally, I'm mainly working with my ancestors, with Gouache demons, with archangels, with Sephiroth, with the Clipboard, with necromancy, with initiations, with what else am I working with? With vampirism a lot, like psychic vampirism, vampiric initiations, self-deifications, with some paganistic pantheons or pagan pantheons, and as a vampiric practitioner, it's also very important. You can actually mix some traditions. For example, I'm more Slavic in ethnicities. Like I can work actually with my Slavic heritage and mix it with my demonic practices. You can mix your own ancestral practices with your current demonic practices. These pantheons can be mixed because it's literally inherited in you. But at the end of the day, you must find for your own self out what works the best for you. So you must experiment, walk, practice every single day as much as you can to find these things out for your own self. But that's just my perspective on it. Some pantheons, you should actually respect it. You should actually not mix all too much or all together. Some rituals, you should actually follow them through how they are. Some rituals, you can actually mix them with chaos magic, mixing them with so many other stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and also, you can also work with some entities and beings to, make your own energy body more able to work with different pantheons without being like negatively affected by them by mixing so much. You can also work in this way too. You can also alchemize your own soul, spirit, and body flesh to be able to work with multiple pantheons without being negatively affected by them all too much. That's also what you can do with that. But yeah, I hope my answer was satisfactory. I hope my guidance could help you in some way, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your love, thank you for your attention, and thank you for your appreciation and thankfulness. You are very venerated, and I feel honored to be able to speak to you all. I wish upon a very NAGA consecrations, and thank you. And you all have a great day, have a great time, have a great night or day wherever you are. And we shall see and hear us for sure again. Oh, Rose, man. Rose. That is... Rose, you must join me a little bit sooner, Rose. A little bit sooner. Rose, unfortunately, now I'm ending my life. Next time, next Sunday. Okay, Rose? Thank you for your patience, Rose, but unfortunately, I have to end my life right there, okay? Next time, okay? Just follow me, and no, you're welcome. Just follow me, and we will catch up next time. And Gnosticism, right? You asked me a question about what do you think about Gnosticism. Gnosticism is kind of nihilistic, at the same time very awesome. It's like breaking out of the matrix or some type of shit. Very Luciferic in some way. That's very rough. I don't want to go right now too much in depth, but like the next time, dear Rose, like I will go in depth with it, okay? But other than that, Naga consecrate, and we shall see and hear us again.